Have you ever made a mistake at work and immediately thought, uh-oh, this is bad? Maybe you missed an important deadline. You upset a client. You ignored your manager's instructions. Or you made the same mistake again. Now your boss is frustrated and your job suddenly feels like it may be in trouble. In American English, we say you're on thin ice. But what does that really mean in business English? Today, I'll show you the exact meaning, how Americans use it, and how you can use it naturally in professional conversations. Let's get started. What does on thin ice mean? On thin ice means you are in a risky or dangerous situation, someone is upset with you, or one more mistake could cause serious problems. In business English, this often means your boss is unhappy with you, your position is unstable, or you are close to getting into trouble. So why do we have this expression? I want you to imagine standing on a frozen lake. If the ice is very thin, it could crack at any moment. You could fall through. That's the idea behind this idiom. When Americans say you're on thin ice, they mean be careful, you're in a dangerous situation. Let's look at some real workplace situations of how we would use this idiom. Imagine an employee misses one deadline, then another. Now the manager is frustrated. During a meeting, the boss says, "You're on thin ice right now. We need to see improvement immediately." This means the employee's job could be in danger. Now picture an employee who sends an angry email to a client. The client receives the email and goes and complains to management. Later, a coworker quietly says, "After that email, he's definitely on thin ice." This means management is upset and he could face consequences. Now, here's a situation that I used to see happen very frequently when I used to work in sales. I want you to picture a salesperson who loses a major client because they forgot to follow up. The company now loses thousands of dollars. Leadership is unhappy. An employee might say, "She's on thin ice after losing that account." This means her position at the company is now at risk. Now picture an employee who keeps arriving late. First it's Monday, then it's Wednesday, and finally Friday. The manager already warned them twice. A coworker says, "He's on thin ice if he keeps showing up late." This means if the employee shows up one more time late, there could be serious consequences. Now imagine an employee who breaks company rules. This employee ignores company policy several times. Now HR becomes involved. The manager says, "You're already on thin ice. Don't let this happen again." This means the employee is very close to serious disciplinary action. Now there are 3 mistakes that I want you to avoid. The first one is using it for positive situations. On thin ice is always negative. Remember, it describes risk, trouble, or danger. Now, the second mistake is using the wrong preposition. We wouldn't say in thin ice. We have to say on thin ice. And think of it this way. If you have ice, if you have thin ice, like a frozen lake, you would stand on the ice. So remember it that way. Now, the third mistake is using it for small, harmless mistakes. This idiom is stronger than minor problems, and it suggests serious consequences are possible. Now, let's work on your pronunciation. Repeat after me. He's on thin ice. He's on thin ice. He's on thin ice. Want to learn more idioms for work and business? Click here.